Hello and welcome to Daily Records. I am Tommy Burton, and today we are going to be talking about the debut album from the band The Strokes. This is called Is This It? Released on July 30th, 2001 on RCA Records. This was an interesting release because it came out around the time of the sort of garage rock revival. This was a band, is a band based out of New York. And some of you are noting, particularly maybe some of my UK viewers, the different cover. Yes, there was an alternate cover, and most fans are familiar with the other cover. But this was the safer cover. This was recorded at the Transportarium in New York City. Recorded with producer Gordon Raphael. This blew right into the UK album charts. It blasted into number 2. It only reached number 33 on the US charts, but it did go on to achieve platinum status. This band really was everywhere around this time. Thanks to the singles Hard to Explain, Last Night, and Someday. Now, what really made this album unique, and you got to put a little historical perspective on things. By the late 80s, let's say late 80s, late 90s, guitar rock was pretty much gone from the radio airwaves. You had a little bit of a resurgence with bands like Creed, who was doing like this hard rock, semi-metal thing. But really just a simple rock thing. So in the early 2000s, thanks to bands like the White Stripes, there was a big explosion of sort of a garage rock thing. And so bands started to become more sort of garagey, stripped, laid back, not as big in the production. And so this is kind of what the Strokes were doing too, with a sort of New York bent to it. The main guy in this band, Julian Casablancas, he sung a lot about lives, relationships, and dealt particularly with urban youth. It's a very New York sounding album. It was just one of those albums that had a feel that was kind of a throwback to probably that CBGB's sound that was very popular with bands like Blondie and the Talking Heads, which very different type bands, the Ramones, but bands that just had this sort of semi-punk aesthetic, but were pretty good bands overall. Now, the difference in the covers, it was deemed kind of explicit for American markets, so they redid it with this alternate cover. And of course, this album also features the track, the American version, New York City Cops, which was a little bit controversial because if you remember, 2001 was also the year of the September 11th attacks. Of course, this was long before that. Really what was interesting was sort of the guitar interplay. It was a very melodic and pop based and sort of a driving thing. It has a lot of charisma in addition to sort of the rhythmic attack. And just is a fun album. It's a fun album to listen to. Now it's gone on to be regarded as one of the best albums of the 2000s. And probably worth the praise. So put the band The Strokes on the map and made them sort of a big deal. And a worthy album indeed. A lot of fun to listen to, especially if you like that sort of tight, sort of driving rhythmic stuff. I think you'll get something out of it. If you like that New York sound, it's very New York sounding, which is pretty cool. So today's Daily Record, The Strokes, Is This It? Do you know this album? Comment down below. Like, subscribe, share, all of that good stuff. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's TommyBurton75. I usually show what I'm spinning on there. In the meantime, I will see you all again tomorrow with another Daily Record.